Did you swallow some helium there?
Cough after.
Oh man, I got it out. Don't worry,
Dude, save some for me.
Yeah,
Nailed
just like thanks, I tried. Oh man, guys, thank you so much for listening as I die over here. This is Hunter here, and I'm here with these two lovely gentlemen. I'm here with Scott. Scott, how you doing, sir?
Good, thanks, Hunter. But there are three of us.
I'm getting to our guest, asshole.
Okay, sorry, I don't want you to leave
Yeah.
Kyle out.
I would never believe me. I could never forget Kyle. No matter how hard I try.
Just do that mug on Skype.
And we've got Colin. Colin, how you doing, man?
Hello.
And last but not least, because Scott ruined the surprise,
Oh.
we've got Kyle. Kyle, the blonde beauty. Kyle, how you doing, man?
And I will always
My
love you.
God.
Doing
Wow.
Doing well.
Well,
Wild card.
Wild
Well-
card.
Well, I think we can I think all of us can agree that Kyle sounds better than Whitney Houston does right now. But anyway, but
That was a
regardless,
good dead Whitney Houston.
Salt starts his
Zing 'em.
My roommate is just really upset right now.
Yeah, I know.
Knock that one out of the park.
I thought that. Come on, I thought that joke was a crack up. Anybody? No. Okay. Anyway.
Blew past me.
Drug addiction is never funny, Hunter.
Oh, whatever. Isn't that all you guys have in Idaho, or like drugs and potatoes and Mormon girls that only give hand jobs, and that all is out in Boise?
So,
Those are only a few of their many attractions.
that's not all of it, it's just most of it. It's not all.
There's a lot of other cool stuff.
Doubtful. But anyways, guys, as we dance around this, we're here to talk about one of my most anticipated films, I would say, of the year, because honestly, I thought that there was just so much. There is so much potential for this to have gotten screwed up. So, if you allow me a little story time here, so Colin, have you seen X-Men Origins Wolverine?
I have. That movie sucks.
Yeah, so so the thing about X-Men Origins is that that was the first time we ever saw Deadpool live on screen, and it was also played by Ryan Reynolds. And that movie is, to say it's hard to get through would be a really big understatement, because
it's really bad.
X-Men Origins Wolverine is maybe the worst superhero. I mean, it's I won't go that far because I think Fantastic Four might be worse. But anyways, or Elektra. Anyways, but X-Men Origins Wolverine sucks. It's really bad. And Deadpool, his nickname being the Merc with a mouth, and he sewed his goddamn mouth shut. It's a really bad movie. So when Fox, what was it, about a year and a half ago, test footage leaked, quote unquote, showing Deadpool pretty much in that freeway fight that he has in this movie, and fans went insane for it. Like, we want to see this live action, and go fucking figure.
How long ago was that?
About a year and a half ago, because I remember it was at Comic-Con.
And so that's before they shot any of the rest of the movie? They just shot that one scene?
Yeah, it was just a CG. It was
Oh,
Ryan Reynolds'
Fox,
voice.
you clever foxes.
Yeah, right. So a year and a half later, we have Deadpool, once again played by Ryan Reynolds, and I think it's fair for us to say this is Ryan Reynolds, kind of his last shot as far as doing comic book movies, because as I mentioned off mic, me and Colin, we had to suffer through R.I.P.D.
Oh no! Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. I forgot about that one, didn't you?
I think my subconscious was trying to protect me from the horrors of that movie, so it was like burying it deep down. You just brought it back up. I'm gonna have to go to therapy again.
I'm sorry, man. And then, of course, we got Green Lantern, which is just, he was not the problem with that, but it's not a good movie. And then, of course, we had X-Men Origins Wolverine. So this is kind of his last shot as far as looking to be a superhero. And I'll just say right now, in the same way I think Robert Downey Jr. was born to play Tony Stark and become Iron Man, same way I think that you have someone like Johnny Depp who was born to play Jack Sparrow. I think Ryan Reynolds was born to play Deadpool, because this movie, it was so. Thank the Lord it was good. That's all I have to say, because I couldn't.
For his sake.
Dude, because he needs a hit, man. I mean, to quote Chris Rock, stand up. You know, he needs a hit like a crackhead needs a hit. Whitney Houston, but
Nice.
like, thank you. Thanks,
Bringing it full circle.
Yeah.
The Real Pineapple episode 2700. Whitney Houston episode.
yeah. Let's not name this Deadpool review. It should be called Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston.
Like
I agree with Scott.
I think Deadpool is going to be a smash hit. Like, I think this is going to be really well received, and a lot of people are going to go crazy for it. It's going to get a big franchise.
Where did you see it at AG, Kyle?
No, I went to Santa Maria, actually. They have a much better theater. I went to the RPX.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Yeah, the bass was ridiculous. It was so awesome.
Yeah, great music, great sound effects in this movie.
So let's just jump in here. So one thing I'm just gonna say right out the gate about the movie that they did is that they didn't follow the typical superhero origin story, in the sense that they jump back and forth between him being Deadpool and then jump back into the past into his origin story. So it's a lot easier. I mean, it helps to keep you engaged, because you're not, just sitting through him getting his powers and then having to wait for him to become Deadpool. Like, whoever made that call, really good decision, because I thought that worked brilliantly for the movie. So Ryan Reynolds, of course, plays Wade Wilson, Deadpool, and he ends up getting cancer. And one thing I gotta say about this movie that I loved is that the movie really gave Ryan Reynolds a chance to stretch and show some emotion, because when he gets his cancer, I was like, God damn, it's not played for laughs or anything. Like, he's joking about it, trying to make the best of a good situation, but he's hurting and he's legit fucking bummed, as anyone would be. And it was cool to see him get to stretch his acting muscles, if you will, with this movie. So he ends up pretty much getting involved with the Weapon X program. He ends up getting powers, and then he gets on pretty much goes on a revenge. It's a revenge story for him to get back at Ajax, who went ahead and actually fucked up his face. Who's played by I'm gonna butcher this dude's name. Ed Skrein, pardon me. Who, of course, we know from the Transporter Refueled, which I saw, and believe me, yeah. And of course, he's on Game of Thrones too. But
Who is this guy playing?
His name's Ajax.
Ajax.
Oh yeah,
He's the British villain, as the opening credits refer to him as. Right?
Okay, that was brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, was the whole theater dying? Because the whole theater, I mean, I would have been dying if I was the only person in that theater, but that was a hit. I could tell. That was hilarious.
We definitely liked it the most, me and Ryan. Mostly me.
Yeah, you probably can only hear yourself laughing because you're laughing so hard.
I love for Ryan Reynolds, everyone's favorite, handsome idiot.
Yeah. That was great.
Something like that. And then, for the director, it's overpaid tool.
Yeah. Yeah, so Ed Skrein or Skrine, is that what it is?
Skrine was how you say it. But he did a good job. I mean, a bit mustache twirling, but I thought for what he needed to be, he was actually quite the asshole. And then we actually have one of my favorite actresses here, and it's I'm so bad with last names apparently. Monica Baccarin, who of course mostly from I believe she's the one from
Firefly.
I know she's on Firefly Homeland. That's what I was thinking of. But she's fantastic, and she is sexy as hell in this movie. Oh my god, and can actually keep up with Wade Wilson, which I thought was important. So
yeah, she's banging him for 10 minutes straight in the movie. It's chill.
Oh yeah, did anyone else catch that there is no Ryan Reynolds dick? I was promised some dong drop.
There was HD Ryan Reynolds after he'd been mutated dick.
Oh yeah.
There was a
That
scene where
was-
he goes and he's doing a flip, and you can totally see his they did like a CGI penis that flies as he's doing a corkscrew in the air. I swear to fucking God that was in there. And if they take it out, I'm gonna sound like a crazy person. So I hope they don't.
God, Colin. All right, why don't you?
Is it
Ryan,
like CGI, like burnt, like
Yeah.
kinda like disfigured?
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Ryan Reynolds does his own stunts. You know, maybe he just does that.
I prefer to do my own stunts.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't CGI. I don't know.
Well, Ryan Reynolds said that he did his own stunts for this movie. So
There you go. He dropped dong.
yeah, well, sweet. There you go. Thank God that Thunder Gun Express that.
I think
shit.
they call it drop trout.
Well, I was using the "It's Always Sunny" reference, just dropping dong, but yeah, good for him. But Scott, so I know I'm the Marvel nerd here. I'm the Marvel whore. I'm always on my knees, ready to suck that Marvel dick when when a new Marvel movie comes out. But
This is very true. We know this, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not even denying it. I'm ready for the good people at Marvel to let their load of comics just bust all over my face whenever they put it.
Oh gosh, the Civil War cum shot is gonna be gnarly.
Seriously, I can't even wait. It's just gonna be just the most orgasmic for Hunter.
Jeez, they're gonna need like an extra janitor that night.
Yeah.
That's it.
Extra faces.
Make sure to drink plenty of fluids, Hunter, before you go to the.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna drink lots of pineapple so it tastes good. but
This is
Wait,
getting
who's doing the
rough.
jizzing here? I thought the movie was doing that on Hunter. Apparently Hunter's doing it on everyone else. Okay.
There's at least 3 versions of the same joke going on at once.
Wild card.
that is very true. But Scott, what were you kind of feeling like going into this? What were your expectations?
Yeah, as a non comic book fan, I'm kind of like I feel like Colin probably knows more than I do about like comic books and comic book heroes and stuff.
Not necessarily true. I don't know very much at all.
Okay.
Usually making it up.
Okay. Well, you're doing well. Yeah, just not. I don't know a ton about Deadpool, and to be honest, I saw Wolverine so long ago that I don't even remember him in it. When somebody told me that recently, I was like, oh, I need to go back and rewatch that.
Yeah, I remember him in it.
So like the whole X-Men connection, like, I guess it was just one of those things that reminded us, like, oh yeah, I guess I kind of forgot for a split second. I was like, oh yeah, this is X-Men, the X-Men universe, I should say. But yeah, going into it, I knew kind of what I'd seen previews, so I knew what kind of his very sarcastic and vulgar and like kind of screw you attitude and just kind of overall badassness. I like Ryan Reynolds. I don't know. I liked him. I've seen his kind of emotional chops before in some romantic comedies that, I would say I enjoyed, but I thought he did well.
Fag. But I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Whoa.
Whatever, man. Ryan Reynolds is super dreamy. I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah, and he, like one of the movies, like he was like hooking up with Isla Fisher and like a couple other hotties. Like
Yeah, it was like-
that was pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely, maybe. He was basically just like, how can I get this 3-way to happen the whole time?
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
Elizabeth
like,
Banks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other one.
it
Tell me
never
his daughter
it never
all-
happens. I mean, it's definitely a disappointing ending that he never has the 3-way, but I mean, he was going for it, and I appreciated that.
Okay,
Yeah.
daughter, these are all the women I've slept with. Who's your mom?
Right? That's like the most awkward conversation ever. I just laughed
Seriously.
before. Go like play some video games or something, or go like.
But I totally agree
Hey,
with you,
wait.
Hunter. I think that like he's a great like Deadpool like actor for the role of Deadpool, just like Robert Downey Jr. is for Iron Man in the same way. 'Cause they're just both real snarky and just just overall badassness. So I had high hopes.
So I mean, were those hopes mostly met, Scott? Or
Yeah, so okay, I have a bit of a caveat for my entire review.
oh, here we go.
Oh.
No, this is a real thing. This is like real life here.
Yeah,
This
getting
is
real
the
with
real
Scott
deal.
real quick.
Yeah. This is the Scott Corner, getting real.
Dropping knowledge. Fake names.
So we had some people sitting behind us that were a bit obnoxious, to say. And so this is kind of something that I if quickly touch on is the whole movie going experience. And for me, I like to I'm not big I don't say things out loud or laugh like really loudly during movies. That's just the way. That's just me personally, and that's I kind of like it. I mean, if it's funny, it's funny. Obviously, people are gonna laugh, but in the beginning credits, you guys were talking about where it's like for executive producer, it'd be like rich douchebag or things like that. They repeated every single one as they came out loud. As they're coming and laughing at it.
Those people should have been murdered on the spot.
And it's like it ruined that joke for me, so that when it came back through, because a lot of this movie is action, comic relief, action, comic relief, pretty much is the formula. And whenever the comic relief came up, I'm like, oh god, what are they gonna say? I hope they just keep their mouth shut if it's funny. You know what I mean? So it just kind of it swayed my view of the movie. I really enjoyed this movie, and I just kind of feel like I missed out on some of it just because they were just annoying. So
when it was over, we
talk about
fuck you.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. It was not that often to where it was like, "Hey, shut the fuck up," Where it was just I don't know. It was just as a caveat from my review, but I really enjoyed it. It wasn't disappointing, I would say, but if I wanted to critique it, I can. And
no, that's very true. I remember I saw the other guys in theaters for the first time, and I didn't really find it that funny because the people I was with they didn't think it was funny at all, and so it didn't really make me want to laugh and enjoy it. Whatever. I felt awkward and being with them type of thing. But I see it on my own. I've seen it a million times. It's a great movie. It's hilarious.
It's funny you bring that example up, Kyle, because me and Colin saw the other guys together when Colin came out to visit me in Austin, and we both were just kind of whatever the first time we saw it, and then we saw it a year later, and we were like, were we both just in a bad mood when we saw that for some reason? Because because I think it's great. But Kyle, go ahead, Scott.
No, just final. It's just the way other people can kind of influence your opinion on the movie. It's I understand if you want to laugh and have a good time, but it's just shut up.
It's they were citing the movie for a blind kid or something. Not in the theater or something.
It's I was I didn't get the joke until you guys said it over again. I appreciate that.
You know what's the worst part about that person is because that person is practicing for the 100 times he's going to repeat that line as if he's funny over the course of the next week. He's going to go up and he's going to be he's like, oh, remember that one rich douchebag? I'm like, oh, you're so funny. Good reference, bro. You have the sickest references. He's like,
exactly.
Oh, man, nailed it, dude. Good thing I said it right after I saw it during the theater.
All right, so Kyle, what did you think kind of heading in? What were your kind of expectations?
Well, I mean, I didn't really have that high expectations. I mean, but I was like, hey, it's a superhero movie. I'm down. I think the last one I saw was Ant-Man, maybe, and I enjoyed that one. And so I was like, and Ryan Reynolds, he's I was like him as a snarky character, and then I loved X Gon Give It to You, that's a great song.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, so I was like, and I from what I kept hearing, that was oh, it's super R. So I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. Usually superhero movies are super family friendly, not crazy death and stuff like that. But Deadpool definitely did not follow that formula.
No, it didn't. Colin, what about you? What were you kind of thinking heading in?
Yeah, it was. I was super pumped for it. I really enjoyed the times I've seen Deadpool in a few comics that you've shown me, and then in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, he's this character to a T. Throughout the whole time you're playing that game, if you play him as a character, one thing, he's awesome because he has samurai swords and he can shoot.
It's
But
true.
he's also hilarious in all of the movies he does. He has all these like little like snarky comments he's making constantly as you're playing as him. So I really like the character of Deadpool. So I was pretty pumped for the movie. So I think I had it as in pretty high regard.
So this was actually one of my most anticipated films of the year, and I was uh, cautiously optimistic just because of X-Men Origins Wolverine. And I gotta say, man, Ryan Reynolds knocked this out of the fucking park. Let's just kind of jump in as far as what we liked. The jokes, and I'm gonna have to go see this again like next weekend. The jokes are constant. There's so many, and I'm like, it felt kind of like the first Hangover almost, in the sense that you're like, or like Super Bad or something like that, where you're like, there's so many jokes just rapid fire. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this again just to catch them all, because my theater. My theater was pretty respectful. I mean, they were laughing, but they were laughing hard too. Not like obnoxiously, but hard because it was funny. But I was sitting there, I was like, man, I'm missing a lot of these jokes just because people are just like going nuts. So I'm probably gonna have to see this again. I love, I love the costume. It's maybe the most accurate comic to film adaptation I've ever seen of a costume. I was actually like horribly impressed with how well it translated on the screen.
It was a sick costume.
Yeah,
Super
like
sick.
it looked exactly like it does in the comics. Ryan Reynolds did a hell of a job as far as selling the character. You could tell he was having fun with it. There's so many times where he's just smiling, and he's just like fucking like in his head. It's just like, oh my god, I fucking finally have a hit. Thank the Lord. There's a scene that you see in the trailer too, but the scene whenever he's in the cab, with the cabbie. Oh god, Dupinder.
Oh, the cabbie was hysterical.
Yeah, Deadpool. Yeah.
He was amazing, and there's this like line kind of with him. You find out about Dupinder and his this girl he likes, and like the guy who's in his way. And there's a great like kind of wrap up to that joke with Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead in the backseat, where you just totally get like the total difference between Deadpool and Colossus, who's like trying to do the right thing, and Deadpool, who could give a shit, and it's just like a giant asshole pretty much the whole movie. And Kyle, you touched on this. When this is a hard R, it is a hard R. Oh my god, is this movie bloody and violent, and he cusses so goddamn much, and I loved it. He said fuck probably 40 times easily, and I was dying every time he said it. Like, I mean, he called one person like a fuck stick or something like that, and I was like,
I was actually ID'd at the ticket girl that like took my ticket. I was like, holy shit! Like, this movie, like, for sure, no one under 17 is coming in. Like,
I was dying.
you can't even buy tickets for like people under 17.
Yeah, I mean, it was wonderful.
I definitely like it was definitely like refreshing almost in a way for like Kyle, kind of you were saying that there's a movie that wasn't like a superhero movie that wasn't for kids, sort of, that didn't try to reach that audience and was just like, you know what, screw it, we're just gonna go for this thing.
Yeah,
I like that, but I feel like at times it it kind of was like trying to make a point about it by just doing it so much. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
not necessarily like naturally, but like they're just trying to get in as many dirty jokes as possible at a certain point. Most of it, I mean, it was all funny, but I just feel like at a certain point I was like, how many times can you punch a guy in the groin? You know what I mean? Like,
no, this is a movie that like if kids watch with their parents, they'd feel super awkward.
yes, definitely.
Like,
definitely
there's no
adult
point
movie.
in this movie at all where like parents can watch it with kids. It's like this movie is fucking like goes to the T on like cursing and killing and just like sex.
Okay, I'm really happy you brought that point up, because one of my biggest things, parents, for the love of God, if a movie's rated R, it's rated R, and there are at least 8 dumbass parents who brought their kids who were like 7 with them, and I'm just like, why would you do this? And so there's this scene where Ryan Reynolds is banging his girlfriend like against the wall, and you see her like tits out, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't feel bad for you. It's like, what part of this is a hard R? Because I know you had to have read a review, And this is like, it's like,
But still,
what?
it's like he looks like a superhero. So like, it's like, oh, this is a superhero movie. We can go see it. It's a
Yeah, he
family
shouldn't be
movie.
doing these things.
I
Yeah.
just, I don't understand it. It legitimately just like blows my mind that people are like, oh, it's like, oh, this isn't bad. Like, whatever. It's like, well, shit. This is why you don't do this. Don't do that. Bad. Like, god damn it. So I don't know. Like, and so Colin, before I kind of get back to you, I want to say one thing that people really aren't pointing out is this movie was really set up by one of, spoiler alert, one of my favorite movies that will probably be on my list for best movies of last year, which was a Kingsman last year. Because Kingsman had the spot last year. It came out in February, and it did really well. And that was a hard R movie based on a graphic novel. And
Was
it's
that
like,
Fox?
that was Fox too, yeah. And
They're
it,
smart.
wow.
They got a niche they're working on right now.
yeah. And
I was a little disappointed with Kingsman, to be honest.
well, I'm disappointed in your opinion of Kingsman, so suck it. But
Oh, what about Samuel Jackson?
the
Scott.
Kingsman? Oh yeah. No,
And
it
a
was,
hush
it was
goes
funny.
over the podcast.
It was funny, but I don't know. I
Oh
wasn't
no, yeah,
interested.
I thought Samuel Jackson though he was one of the weaker characters.
Oh, the weakest. Yeah.
He liked McDonald's a lot though.
he did.
Yeah,
And
that was hilarious. Yeah.
and he was kind of doing like a Mike Tyson impression, which I thought was pretty wonderful. But like Fox really showed with Kingsman that, hey, if you put a rated R film out, in February when things are kind of slower, people will come out and support it because it's an alternative. Look, I've said this on the podcast when it comes to comic book movies. I make no qualms about the fact I love them, but in order for the medium to just not get bland and to just not flat out die, we have to have different things. We have to have different avenues. And Kick-Ass started that. Kick-Ass 2, but we get something like Kingsman. We get something like this.
What did you think of Super?
Oh god, I love Super.
Okay,
I think Super is absolutely brilliant. I wish go see Super. It's on Netflix if you haven't seen it. But
Oh really?
yeah, it's wonderful. But different movies like that, and Unbreakable, I would count that as a comic book movie because I think Unbreakable is brilliant too. There needs to be different mediums for comic book movies, and this is definitely different. The budget on this was like $58 million, and it's on pace, which is fucking crazy. It opened on Friday with an opening day of $47.5 million.
Wow, that's impressive.
And it's looking like
Wow,
this,
they're gonna get loaded. Meh.
yeah, and it's looking like this movie by tomorrow could finish as high as $150 million, which if it does that would make it the highest opening for a film in February ever, which would beat shitty 50 Shades of Grey, which God help me, I hope it does because
Yeah, that'd be great. That would be retribution for last year.
yeah, so I'm praying for that. But Colin, sir, your kind of your thoughts. What would you like about this? What didn't you like?
Yeah, so like I said, I was kind of looking forward to it because I was a fan of the character Deadpool, mostly because of my interaction with him in the game Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Nice.
As one does. And so basically, yeah, I was stoked for it. The trailer was awesome. If you haven't heard our Red Band trailer and this is the first time you're hearing it, then yeah, but basically, if you listen to that, we're very excited for it. We think it looks hilarious and awesome and super meta, which it was.
Oh, my God.
Constantly breaking the fourth wall, which is great. They're like, you're breaking the fourth wall with breaking the fourth wall? That's like breaking 16 walls or something like that.
Yeah.
Like they had, it was just like it was like poking fun at the genre while also kind of like being clearly part of the genre, which it was refreshing. Honestly, it was cool to see like just a comic book movie that's gonna put a big budget. I mean, I'm surprised that's only $50 million because the special effects are great. I think I would say that about it.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you real quick. I'm so sorry. Colossus has never looked better. I was so goddamn happy he finally looked like Colossus because they have not gotten him fucking right in the prior X-Men movies.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, had to get that out. Sorry. Continue.
No, you're totally right. Colossus looks great. He's one of the 2 X-Men, as we talked about.
Yeah, that was a great line by Deadpool.
Yeah, there's a lot of great lines like that, just like making fun of the movie industry as well. Like, we don't have that big of a budget to pay like for like fucking Hugh Jackman to be in our movie.
For more mutants.
Right, yeah, exactly. They're all like way too expensive. They're like, we'll be in your movie, but you have to pay me $10 million. And we're like, bitch, our budget is $50 million. That would be 1/6. So it's funny that they have one computerized dude like Colossus, and then the girl was actually really funny that was playing Hunter, her character name.
Oh my gosh, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, I want to say.
Yeah, Negasonic Teenage
Warhead.
Warhead.
Yeah. Well,
there you go.
What's funny is that she literally appears in like one X-Men comic and like dies like 3 panels later. So I was actually surprised that she like made it like they used her to like great effect. Sinead O'Connor, as Deadpool kept calling her, which had me rolling. Any complaints on your end there, Colin?
I would say, oh man, it's rare that a movie like makes me struggle to think about something that while I was watching I didn't really like love. Man, this movie was just pretty good. I think. I'm trying to think. No, it was chill. That's
Okay.
so rare from me. It's so rare because honestly, I nitpick about everything, and for what reason I do. And
I thought it was just long enough too. Like it wasn't too short. It wasn't too long.
Yeah, was that's one of my go-tos. It's like, oh man, if it was over 2 hours, I'm probably gonna be like, when is it over? But this thing was like 1 hour and 45 minutes. Okay, this is one thing I have to say about the movie industry and specifically Marvel and Fox and all these motherfuckers making comic movies. Can we just get rid of the we have to sit through the credits to see your little thing at the end? Because I don't want to do it anymore. I'm done. I'm over it. I just want to leave when the credits start rolling, like every other movie let us do in the 90s.
Oh, wow, no. That's like a Marvel signature, you know?
It is.
It's old. It was cool when it first happened. But now every movie, I can't deal with it anymore. That's me. There's my nitpick. How about that?
Okay, fair enough. Kyle, what are your thoughts, man? What was good, what was bad?
Well, I really liked Deadpool. I thought he was a great main character. You know, great voice Ryan Reynolds has, and great at delivering jokes. I like the side characters. T.J. Miller, I'm always been a fan of.
Yes, he was great.
Love Peter. On Silicon Valley. And, she's out of my league. As
Stained her.
Best role to this day.
Yeah. He has some good lines in this movie for sure.
Yeah. Sadly, he wasn't in a Hall Notes cover band like he was. But he's a bartender. Still pretty good gig.
Wow.
Kyle, you were killing this review, man. Love it.
Yeah, and I like that, Ryan Reynolds, he kind of lost his looks. I'm like, fucking good. You should keep it that way.
Wow.
Make it easier on the rest of us saps.
Yeah, right? Jesus. Not all fucking boyfriends can look like Ryan Reynolds.
It's true.
Yeah. But, that fucking Canadian, he's just, so damn good at acting. And, they kept on showing shots of his ass just, nonstop. So, I guess if I had one complaint, it was just too much Ryan Reynolds ass. We don't need to. I want more girls' ass, that's fine, but don't appease the female fans. No. Less Ryan Reynolds ass, I would say.
That's exceptionally misogynistic of you, Kyle. I like it.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You should be dressed like Don Draper drinking a scotch right now, in expensive Manhattan office back in the 60s.
Getting deals done.
Well, you know what? I think I'm going to counter your argument, Kyle. I don't think there was enough Ryan Reynolds ass. So
you would say that. You are bisexual. So.
What? Oh man! All right, that was really wonderful. All right, so getting to our last thoughts here. The one of the jokes I just found hilarious, and it's very like a very foreshadowing thing, is when he goes like, "Man, this mansion gets blown up a lot," which like happens every goddamn time in like an X-Men movie. It seems like the X mansion gets blown up or destroyed or raided. In the comics, it happens so fucking much. So I was like, in an X-Men apocalypse, you can almost set your watch that's gonna happen.
Okay, wait, sorry, I gotta interrupt you.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. One thing I didn't like was, the really strong chick. Forgot her name, but she was like, the bad guy with the British villain.
Yeah,
And
like the Russian chick or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, when she was fighting Colossus, like her tit came out, and Colossus was totally blocking it.
Let me guess. One of your favorite scenes was when they went to the strip club.
Of course, yeah. Well, I mean, those are regular old tits, but like, I don't know, just like she just really had a nice set, and I wanted to see at least one of them, but like, Colossus's big bug was in the way, so.
Yeah, you're referring to former MMA fighter turned actress Gina Carano, who played Angel Dust, and she was actually pretty good in this. If you haven't seen Haywire, fucking
She
see
just
Haywire.
one of her tits. She would have been better if she just would have, someone would have moved down in front,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, those look like a good double D's. Like, they were voluptuous.
Wow.
I liked. We brought Kyle on for the ladies.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Kyle's definitely and he's
This is a
served his
broadcast, right? So,
This is true.
Hell yeah.
So guys, like getting to my final thoughts here. That X-Mansion thing was brilliant. Like I said, there's so many jokes like all the time in this movie that you'll probably need to see us again to catch them all. And you should see this again because it's a really well made film. As far as my complaints, honestly, and I'm sitting here, I'm trying to think of something, but I don't really have anything.
more tits.
All right, fine, more tits there. Got, just wow. Well said, Kyle. More tits. That's the line to take away from this review.
People are going to get excited whenever they see Kyle as guest starring on Real Pineapple.
Oh man, more tits, Kyle Petersen.
Like, whatever happened to that dude that just like talked about? That was hilarious.
But I mean, overall though, man, this movie was so much fun, and stay to the dismay of Colin, stay through the credits and stay till the end.
It's kind of funny. Could have been played earlier.
God damn it.
Yeah, it was kind of like Ferris Bueller.
No, and that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's totally a riff on Ferris Bueller, but it confirms not only Deadpool 2, but someone who's gonna be appearing in it, which is huge because they've needed to introduce this character for a while. So I'm happy they're doing that. I know you guys are
I
probably.
almost just blurted it out.
Yeah, don't do that, please. I know Scott's gonna probably be like, "Oh, what a shocker!" But I don't care, Scott. It's a fan-fucking-tastic. I love this movie.
Yeah.
So,
just,
is that one like the highest rating? Fan-fucking-tastic?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get Kyle's thoughts, man. Your final thoughts and your grade, sir.
Well, pool, comma, dead.
More comma tits.
It would have been tits, comma more. Let's go.
Pardon me.
Great, you fellas said it for me. Tits, comma, more. And then less, comma, but.
It's so backward.
Oh my god.
Best review ever. So your grade? That's just like a special Kyle grade.
Oh, okay, yeah. They've been going for grade. Okay, so it's fan-fucking-tastic past like A.
Yeah.
I would give it a fan fucking tastic.
Wow, look at Kyle.
I want to buy this movie. Like, I could watch this movie multiple times. Like, definitely has a lot of repeatability. And like comparison, like I was thinking, like when the superhero genre started, kind of like with Spider-Man, maybe with these type of movies with Fox, make
Yeah, I'd say that.
I think they've come a long way,
Yeah, they have.
from Peter
Yeah.
Parker, and I think they finally like, found this like niche of like, really true to like the comic, like appeasing, the comic book nerds type of group. And it's really like paying off because I never read the comic, but like this would get me interested to kind of read the comic, just like seeing how cool like the wittiness of the dialogue is, and like just like the kind of graphic nature of it. It's like, oh yeah, this is all things like I love. It's just like hot females, like like samurai swords, like guns, like, and he just like basically butts it on fools 24/7, and he just like
Hell
does
yeah.
does a cartoon just like while he's just like chilling on the freeway and like listen to DMX, just like being the man.
You're a man of simple taste, aren't you?
Yeah, it's like they're really accessing like the nice like male brain, like 24 to like 36 years old, right there.
Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, before we get to Colin, I would actually argue that this is more of a date movie than I was expecting it to be. I was like, wow, they actually found a surprising balance. Like, it's stuff that girls will laugh at. I mean, they obviously won't want more tits, more than like, well, I mean, they might, I don't know, but like,
They do.
but this is
They do. I took Nikki. She said there could have been more tits.
Oh, well, you married well, sir. But I mean, but I mean, this is definitely something that you can go, especially if your girlfriend or wife is going to make you see how to be single. She damn well better turn around and go see Deadpool with you. It's more than fair.
I thought he had a good line too.
Wait,
I thought there was a good line too when he was talking about like kind of like depression. He's just like, oh no, like your life mostly is just like full of shit, and then, like occasionally like you're in a dream and like you feel happy, but like that's only for a little bit, and then you come back to reality. Kind of like oh wow, it's just like he's kind of hitting on like depression a little bit there. He's like speaking to like the depressed soul a little bit, relatability there. So
yeah, I
but
mean,
it wasn't just all jokes, is what I'm saying. There was a serious side to it. He even had like some good lines like for that.
And just real quick before we get to Colin, I want to throw a quick shout out to Paul Warnick and then Reed Reese, who were the writers on this. And the last thing that they wrote, go figure, Zombieland. So, yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's good writing.
Yeah, so there you go. Mr. Colin, sir, your final thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say that hasn't already been said about Mr. Poole. It was very good. Yeah, that chick, Morena Baccarin.
Yeah.
That's the main chick, right?
Yeah, Vanessa, yeah.
Yeah, she's lovely. Yeah, it is. It's like I'm I'm laughing at how hilarious Kyle's just being blunt about it, but like I completely agree. This is total man movie. Like this is like testosterone filled, like tits and ass, fighting, blood, killing, shooting, stabbing, slicing in half, funny jokes, like a lot of dick jokes that are hilarious. Like it is. It's awesome. It's really, really, really fun. There was very little I didn't like about it. I don't think I couldn't really even remember a thing because the whole time I had this big grin on my face. I was watching this Deadpool movie. I mean, it was fantastic. Ryan Reynolds he's totally hit and miss, but like I think I always remember him fondly for the things he does because I love them so much more than the things I just kind of forget about that he does. So he's good in my book. I love Deadpool. It's awesome writing. It's a fan-fucking-tastic.
All right, and now let's get on to Captain Buzzkill, who's going to not give it a fan.
Okay, well, let me just say, I just don't hand out fan-fucking-tastics to some people around here.
I'm glad that we did us three first. So it's 3 fan-fucking-tastic. This is the most dramatic Scott review yet. I love it. Drum roll.
So, like I said, there was a caveat, and that kind of like didn't really put me in like the best of moods to begin this movie. So I fully take. So it made me a little more critical of it, and there was just a couple things that I noticed during it. It was really really fun, like Colin, you're saying, is a complete guy movie. I loved Ryan Reynolds. I think he's a perfect Deadpool. Really snarky. I think he delivered all those lines really well. The whole the whole making fun of superhero movies. It just like I feel like they were making fun of other movies for being like somewhat predictable, but I feel like this movie was fairly predictable to me. Like it didn't have like a super complicated plot or anything like that. But I do see what you're saying. I think Colin said about the genre kind of realizing what it is. Couple things. Let's see. I like how Ryan Reynolds would a couple times break the fourth wall and kind of make fun of himself. He actually mentions himself in this movie, which was really funny. It was really refreshing to hear all of the just completely screw you to any other these huge movie deals and well-paid actors and actresses and stuff. I like that. The joke about like you already said, the 2 X-Men in that giant house.
Yeah.
Because I was, for a second, I was like, okay, this is like, really? They're just gonna show these 2 people, and then he busted out and really hit it on the head.
It's like that really saved the studio money, and like it was funny. Like,
exactly, win-win situation.
Writers were.
Love T.J. Miller. He's just hilarious. The only small thing is not knowing about this comic is I wish I would have got a little more of like what his powers are. Like I know he heals really quickly, but I don't get how that makes him like this ninja, I guess.
He's special forces, bro.
Yeah.
But special forces don't teach you how to flip and shoot in the air. So
Scott is my favorite.
So he has no regard for his body. He can just get hit. He can saw off his arm and it'll grow back.
No, I totally get that, but that doesn't mean you can do like a sideways 360 flip and shoot somebody in the head. Like that was like I just kind of noticed. So that's what I'm saying. The caveat put me in a very critical mood. So I'm like being real critical about it. Okay.
No, dude, 1 bullet through 3 skulls.
If you get special powers to heal yourself, you totally get ninja skills too. Duh.
I wanted to know more.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah. I wanted them just to explain it, I guess, a little bit because I didn't know. I had no reference going into it.
That's true. They do not explain that.
Pills. They explained that to me, and I was like, okay, I believe it.
Got it. Inject it. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then I was confused about I thought the blind woman was hilarious, but I was kind of confused about at a certain point they get a lot of guns and how
he forgets the guns both times.
But he gets them all from this old lady's house, and I didn't know that she was I just didn't really get that. I guess.
Well, a lot of them were his guns.
Okay, so I thought in the beginning they kind of make a reference to her, in a party, and he's like, okay, that'd be a good roommate. And the next moment he's has guns strapped underneath tables and things like that. So maybe I was just misguided on that.
Oh yeah. His roommate was a blind woman.
This is my favorite review. Please give it a C or something.
No, I swear to God.
Oh my God, I would die. That would be the happiest I've ever been.
This is not. I really enjoyed this movie. I'm just being really critical. I'm picking it apart.
No, I'm liking this. they can see it from a different, like, more critical perspective.
Yeah,
Uh,
funniest shit ever.
just the like. It's just I think this is just me personally,
Oh God.
but I
You
feel
can
like
start every sentence with that, Scott.
they were really like they knew they were going to be vulgar. They knew they were going to be like they just put as much in as possible. Like he got shot like in the asshole, like right, and
Yeah.
it's like it was a little slapsticky to me.
Well,
And it
all I
was
gotta
like,
say is all three holes. If she lets you in one, she'll let you. You gotta
so
go
it's
for all
just
three of them.
Hey Scott, do you want me to go ahead and give you the tap dancing shoes so you keep dancing around your rating here, or do you want to?
no, I'm giving it. I feel like I'm trying to give it an honest critique here.
No, I'm liking it. Keep it
I
coming.
am too. I'm
Yeah,
just giving it.
it's all valid.
So I give it an A minus. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I would see it again. I would probably even buy it because it's really fun and there is a lot of there's a ton of content in there. But like I said, already I'm a human being. People piss you off at the beginning of the movie. It's like, oh boy, here we go. So
If you saw
like
it with us three in an empty theater, you would have loved it.
I probably would have loved it. You're probably right, but
Yeah.
it just kind of put me in like a critical like mode, and I nitpicked a little bit, and I fully admit that, but I'm still sticking with my grade because I feel like there's some valid points there.
No, I like it. I think if I was in that bad of a mood, I probably would have saw that.
Well, it was
I
like
would've
it's like
guessed
throughout the movie. Like, come on, guys.
I thought you were gonna throw out a B there, like A
I did
minus.
too. I
Yeah.
did too.
I
Honestly.
was hoping for a C. I would have goddamn died.
No, I'm trying to get a point. I liked it. I really liked it. It was good.
Well, to be fair, going into my screening, I went ahead. I was loaded up on mimosas and weed, so I was in pizza. So I was feeling pretty good. But so hey,
It's like really fun. Like no, you can't not see this and be like, okay, that was a really fun movie.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, unless like you're super like not into cursing or sex or violence, then you would have
That's
hated it.
true.
Yeah, this movie's probably not going to do super great in Utah. Just in general.
Yeah, if I took like my really prudish friend like to see that, she would be like, like and run out the theater.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm sorry
Prude first.
that reaction. That was amazing. Thank you.
No, I could actually see someone screaming in horror and running out early in this movie.
Wow. Well, guys, have you seen Deadpool yet? Please tell me you've seen Deadpool. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of it. You can
And if you
follow.
hated it, make sure you tell Hunter.
Yeah.
I just love when you're like just are over the moon about movies. It's easy to poke fun at you.
You can follow me on the Twitter at jhunterrealpineapple. Scott doesn't have a Twitter, so we're gonna skip him.
You just listen to another episode, okay? You'll hear it.
It's Nearman the First or some bullshit like that. You can follow Colin on Twitter at.
I think it's Newman the First is Scott's actually.
Yay!
God damn it.
Make sure you tweet him a lot
Ugh.
and tell him he had a great rating. Mine is The Real O'Neill, REEL.
And you can follow our lovely, beautiful blonde guest on Twitter at.
KLP 443.
and it rhymes. Go figure.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll have a review coming up this week for Blunt Talk Season 1, and we'll have some other stuff for you guys as well. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Have a good one.
Peace.